BatForceRadio.
BatForceRadio is rated M for mature, or should that be immature?
Hey guys, Dustin Witt.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder.
This is Paul Dini.
And you're listening to BatForceRadio.
And you're listening to BatForceRadio.
You're listening to BatForceRadio.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and you're listening to BatForceRadio, so stay tuned.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 4 of Everything Batman. I am your host, Everything Batman. As always, our co-host, we got Batforce Tom.
What's up, guys? And
from the Grumps and Gramps show, we got our buddy Gramps. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm really happy to have a special guest today. She's been a special friend of mine for about 2.5 years now. You might recognize her. If you don't, you will. Welcome Lis Wonder to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Yay.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Yes, of course. Your intro is so beautiful.
Isn't it fun?
Like Kevin there, I was like, this is Scott Snyder. I was like, what? Like this is, I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah, we on our Batforce radio show, we got a lot of the creators and artists on there.
I love it.
They were nice enough to do that during the Comic-Cons. And hopefully we get more of them when everything opens up again.
I know.
We'll get there. We just got to wear a mask and keep away from other people.
It's hard for a cosplayer though. I don't know how that's gonna work because everybody's just like, can I have a picture? So it's gonna be so difficult when you go back to cons as a cosplayer.
Yeah,
I don't know how
you're gonna have to have your lasso and just kind of like
how do you make that happen? You're
just gonna have to use your lasso the whole time. Just like
stay away.
Yeah, that's gonna be
my shield.
A plexiglass
surrounding me like a toy, like a hot toy.
Oh, there you go. You be like you're in a toy, like you're in a toy box. You know?
Like
yeah.
Everyone brings out their selfie sticks. That too, right? To stay away.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming on. And when you agreed, I was like, really? All right, great. And you were like, Friday. And I'm like, really? Already? I'm like, all right, cool. And you're like, Saturday. I'm like, all right, Saturday's even better. But thank you so much. As always, everyone who comes on the show, we like to ask the first question always is tell us a little bit about your origin story. What got you into cosplay? And anything else you want to discuss from there?
Oh yeah, sure. So I didn't really know what cosplay was. I was born in Cuba, raised in Russia, very into academics, trying to learn Russian, and just if I would have some time to watch TV, it would be Cartoon Network, just just like some silly things. But and movies. Obviously, I was always into movies. But I didn't really know about conventions and Comic-Cons. And I went to my university and I started working. And then I was sent to San Diego for work to a conference that we had. And I happened to go during Comic-Con. And I remember I had an extra day for myself because every time I travel for work, I was like, I need to get an extra day or two to just, visit around the city since you're going. Yeah. And I'm too broke to travel on my own. So I was like, I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And I didn't know how crazy fun these conventions are. I couldn't afford to go inside the Comic-Con. But I went outside. They closed down the streets in this gaslight, I think it's called, the center. Yeah, and it was so much fun. Like so many people dressed up, just drinking, having fun, not caring what they look like. I was like, this is so cool because I always love Halloween, And I start looking into when is the next Comic-Con and what is this Comic-Con thing and what's the inside look like? Outside is so much fun. I could only imagine the inside. It's probably super fun. And I realized there were a lot of artists and really cool stuff happening. And so I told my friend, I was like, hey, do you want to go to a Comic-Con? She's like, oh my gosh. She lives in Tampa, Florida. And there was a big one happening. And I just went online and I was like, you know what? Because Wonder Woman impacted me so much when I saw her on the screen. And my dad always told me, and people around me just like, oh, you remind me of the actress. I saw the movie and all I could think was you. And it's just, I guess my family and friends were like the ones that told me, I'm like, if I could dressed up as someone, I guess it would be Wonder Woman. I just thought it would be just easier,
Yeah.
It's like it's not something. And my friend was Harley Quinn just for fun. I was like, oh my
Nice.
gosh, it's great. And because I when I saw Batman versus Superman, she really made an impact on me. I always picture Linda Carter, blue eyes, just like very, and Justice League, like the animated series. It was just so different to me to see Gal Gadot with an accent, with the look, the exotic look, representing Wonder Woman, and seeing all these Amazons, all these women fight. It was so impactful that mainly because of that, and mainly because of what people reminded my face of. I was like, okay, let's just do that for fun. And I remember walking around the convention, and for 30-40 minutes this little girl was following me, and her mom is like, she wants to meet you, but she's shy. And like I tried to talk to her, and she kept like going shy, and until finally I met her, I'm like, this is so cool. Like the little kids actually freak out, and they think that you're Wonder Woman, and that's where it all was born, where I was like, what can I do with cosplay to do stuff for the community and also have fun and also like, be creative. And that's my story. It's a little long, but it's just all connects in a way.
That's awesome.
I had to kind of go back.
That's awesome. So it must have felt great when that young girl came over.
Oh my goodness. It was amazing. It was so cute. She was little, blonde, and I remember, like if it was today, it's like so shy, just going around everywhere I went. I just see her around with her mom, behind her mom, just like looking, and like
Did that experience like put an effect on like what everything else you started doing as Wonder Woman? Because I know you were visiting like child hospitals and stuff like that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. After that I was like, this is so cool, because every year my husband and we donate for the Florida Baptist Children's Home, and it's basically like a foster care / orphanage / a place where kids can also go and learn. And so it's I figure out, I talked to them, I was like, hey, if I go dressed up as Wonder Woman, is that okay? And they were like, yes, that we would love to. So I convinced my friends to go as the Flash, and then my other friend to go as Spider-Man.
Nice.
That I met at the comic book store. And that was the first, I started cosplay in August, and that was my first thing in December for Christmas, where I started doing a fundraiser right in September, and I got $2,500, and we got gifts for all the kids, and we got breakfast for all the kids. So it was just really, really nice and fun. It's a Christmas thing to do.
That is very cool. Cool.
It was really nice.
Good for you guys.
Yeah, that just goes pretty much like what Wonder Woman represents, and that's a beautiful thing that you do that.
I and that's what the more that I cosplay her, because it started as a fun thing, but then the more that I did, and the more that I understood about her, and the more I learned about who she really is by reading comics. Like I said, I was very academic. I lived in Russia, never read comics. I started reading it thanks to my friend Tim, who used to own a multiverse comic book store here in Miami. And I started learning about a little more deep dive into the character. And that's what I loved about her. And then I just realized the connection I had with Wonder Woman, and it just grew from there. It hasn't stopped growing since then. It's really a beautiful thing.
It's awesome that you represent that. Go Gramps.
Yeah, you've really become an ambassador, not just for the character, but also the spirit of, what a hero is.
Thank you. I think we all do our little grains of sand. Is that what you say? Grain of sand?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like, yeah.
I think in a way, people always say people suck, but I don't think so. I think by doing shows like this, by talking to people, getting their stories out, you're maybe somebody's listening and might get inspired to do it. So I just think that everybody has something good that they can give back with their own passion and creativity of their own. So I don't think it's anything special. I just feel, I don't know. I guess cosplay is a little more visible, but I feel like there's a lot of people behind the scene that they're like true heroes and do a lot more. There's a lot of cosplayers that do a lot, but thank you for having me here to like kind of spread the word and maybe encourage someone to do it.
That's
So
the
you're
goal.
a hero too, you see?
Well, I
Men are
try to
still
be.
good.
No. Well, no. The thing is, it's sadly we live in a world where like positivity is like pushed aside and negativity is glorified. And like something negative happens and everyone's like, "Oh my God, look at this, look at that," and then we generalize. But my goal is hopefully with having people like you on the show is like, hey, look at all the good that this community alone, the comic community, the cosplay community, this how much good we could possibly do. And let's just start focusing on just more positive stuff, because like there's so much negative out there, and you turn on the news and as Kanye says, you turn on the news and all you see is the blues. And
they just want to bring us down, like, to be honest. It's not as bad as it seems. And everybody, like, I was having this conversation today and my husband, and it's like, the future. I was watching Blade Runner, and every futuristic movie, it always has the world like looking gray and dark and very obscure and like the end of the world. But I honestly think it's gonna be backwards. I feel like this generation and the next one that's coming, it's very like, how do I say? It's very about leaving a better quality of life and not overworking and kind of environmental. I know at the beginning it was like, oh my gosh, these people with the environmental stuff, but like a lot of good stuff has come out of it. A lot of people made fun of it, but it's like, the Tesla and like all this stuff. And like, I don't think negative as the future. Like some people have that mentality, and I think it's all in the mind of how you see it. Like I'm raising my daughter to be, to do good things. And I feel like this generation, it's pretty good. It's heading towards, hopefully we're not going to see the earth like that. I don't know. I feel like
I feel like we're going to get
the
there.
Mind. It's the mind.
Like slowly but surely we'll get there. I know, again, so much negativity gets focused on, but all the good stuff is getting done in the background, and all the good people are doing the right thing. All the heroes,
The heroes.
So getting back a little bit to the cosplay, you have God knows how many Wonder Woman outfits. So how do you work on your own cosplay? Do you order some parts? Like how do you go about it?
Well, I try to create stuff, but I suck.
But you're trying though.
Well, yeah, I did some gauntlets. I did a couple of things like the little, I don't know what this is called.
Just the armband or whatever.
Armband, sure. It's not that bad. There's so much on YouTube. I think cosplay right now, it's become so available to so many to create, especially with the quarantine. So many people are like, hey, let me pick up a hobby. And, you can start creating your own stuff, and it's not that hard. There's already patterns for you. There's already, luckily we live in the US. If I was in Cuba, I couldn't find foam anywhere. But like here, you go to Michael's or whatever, and you're able to find anything you need, a heat gun. It's just, there's any sort of things if you want. So I started.
3D printers.
Yeah, this is crazy, right? Anybody can own a 3D printer, and
like $180. It's $180 to get like one of the top of the line 3D printers.
That's crazy to me.
I'm buying one.
Yeah.
Why
That's
not?
awesome. And I feel like I'm beginning to go into the craft area of that, but like suits like this one, I can't. It's gonna fall apart in the middle of the convention. So I commission most of my suits because of the events. Like the one that I had for 2 years, it lasts me for a good time. It's foam, and I went to so many events. I travel with it. I went to New York Comic Con where we met, C2E2. I went just local cons, hospital visits, and it's just you wear it for a long time. In Florida, it's really hot. It's really humid. Ugh. So I need to be able to commission people that have a really good quality suit. It's
That's
not
awesome.
just like something I make that might fall apart in like a day. I'm not that good. And cosplay, it's the different types. There's the ones that you can wear a thong and you're Pikachu, which I always say, it's like that's your choice, and you have fun with it. And you can be a super creator that wins awards in like animatronics and all that stuff. Like it's such a wide range. So sometimes people get stressed out, like I don't know how to cosplay, but the definition of cosplay is like costume playing. So don't stress if you can't make it. Like there's always makers and things, and you can always learn. So me personally, I like creating some little things, but commissioning most of my big stuff.
Nice.
To make the story short, I know I talk a lot.
No, that's great.
That's what this is for.
That's what this is
true.
for.
It's true.
Whatever you feel like saying.
This is where they get to hear the stories when they, the stories that go along with the pictures. So
yeah. Any like particular like great Comic-Con moments? Like talk about your experiences at Comic-Cons.
Comic-Cons are great. I mean, the only thing is like when I'm eating, sometimes people are like, "Can I take a picture?" And my mouth is full of ketchup, and I'm like, "Bro,
leave me the hell alone."
Oh my god, that's funny.
And they don't care, and they're like, "Okay, then, okay," and they just do it, and I'm just, and there's always this like pictures that you get that you're not ready for, and it's very hard.
Tag photos.
I know you showed me one today. I was like, "Can you that picture?" I look like literally like an Oompa Loompa.
You were so nice to her, but is it okay if you choose another one, please? I think you have another one. And I was like, this one?
Well, it doesn't help
to share.
It doesn't help when the guy's 6'7" right next to you.
Yeah, how tall are you? Because honestly,
I'm 6'7".
6'7". Okay, I look like a midget.
Everyone's
next to you.
That's all right. Most of the population does.
That's why we call him Dunk.
Dunk. Yeah, I'm 5'5". I'm average. But when I met you, I'm and I wasn't wearing heels. I was wearing just like one of those because I was doing the Justice League War outfit the day that we met. And it's so funny because you look so big and I look like I'm literally a little girl. Like
but isn't your husband like 6'4", 6'5"?
He's 6'4", but you're
6'7".
6'7".
3 inches? Come on. I guess
that's a lot. That's half a subway.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I remember that. It was like we met and I was just like, "Hey, nice to meet you." And you were looking at me and I was like, "Oh, I'm Everything Batman."
I was looking at you.
You were like, "Oh shit." And then you hugged me, pre-quarantine.
Pre-quarantine. Oh, this is so sad.
Yeah, and that was like hard. That was like weird to hug people. It's like, "Oh, can I hug you? I don't know. How do you feel? You vaccinated?"
I'm Cuban, so I hug and I kiss everybody. I'm
same.
Latin people like to.
Yeah, I'm a Dominican on my mom's side and Honduran on my dad's side. So I'm so used to like kissing cheeks and hugging people, and now it's like
me too.
Now it's like a fist bump. I mean, it's so fucking weird.
It's so weird.
Any other Comic-Con moments?
Comic-Con moments. Okay, let's see. Like funny things.
Have people ever seriously thought you were Gal Gadot?
Some people have. But they thought it was like a joke. Like I went to a Comic-Con like as a joke, dressed up in Wonder Woman to like scare somebody, which I guess if you're not really like Gal Gadot like that, you don't realize she's like 5'8" or 5'9" or whatever.
She's a tall lady, yes.
She's tall and obviously thinner, and it's just different body. But I was like, okay, if you think I'm Gal, okay, cool.
How's that feel? Like people think you're Gal. Like
for little kids, it feels pretty cool because they freak out and they don't know. They just see the face and they see the suit, and it's so legit that sometimes they're like, they just get so scared. I had this little kid. My friend does She-Hulk, and she could scare little kids.
She-Hulk. Oh my god!
A green jacket. And this little kid just came running under my cape and hid, and it was like so cute. Sometimes.
Hey, that's a compliment. That means that she does a good cosplay.
Yeah, I mean it. The kids just make my day, but like that, I don't see anything. I don't have any like bad or funny stories from a Comic-Con besides eating, which I love eating, and people just interrupt me when I'm eating.
Well,
yeah, if you want to piss off Wonder Woman, interrupt her eating.
Exactly.
Exactly. Eating part. What's your favorite meal at Comic-Cons?
Oh my
it's
gosh.
hard to find good food. I'm sorry, and it's very.
It really
expensive.
is, and that's when I eat a hot dog.
A $7 hot dog.
That's when I'm like, you know what? I'll just have a hot dog, and sometimes I have popcorn, just like as a snack. I have a beer and a lot of water.
What kind of beer you like?
I don't know. I mean, the ones that I buy here I like Modelo, but I don't know at Comic Cons there's always like Bud Light or all those lights.
No, I find
Mostly.
IPAs. I can't drink.
Oh,
nice.
Modelo, look.
Cheers.
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 I don't know I don't remember. It's been a year.
Been a while. Yeah. Well, I think what was your last Comic-Con?
New York.
Holy crap. That's
Wow.
like a year and a half now. That's 2019. That's insane.
October, yeah.
Unbelievable. Here's a question, and it's kind of weird because like when it comes to cosplay, like you're one of the names that get brought up to the top and that inspire a lot of people. But when it comes to cosplay, is there anyone out there that inspires you?
Oh my gosh, so
that
many.
you look up to, or like you go to their page, like, oh my god, you reach out to them for tips or anything? It's like,
Oh yeah.
Anyone in particular?
There's so many. I mean, the one that I always was fascinated. I find it fascinated. Transformations. To me, when someone can what?
I know who you're gonna say. Go.
You say it.
Allison Tabitha.
Allison.
She's great.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Yo.
She's the one that looks like everybody.
She can cosplay you and you and you.
Yeah.
Yo, if she could
And
be
we will know.
If she could be dunked on a Comic-Con, I'd be amazed.
That would be awesome episode.
Nobody would know. And she's a sweetheart, right? So she's not local from Miami, but from Orlando. And I met her 2 times and she's so nice. Just like genuinely nice person. And so she's just very talented. I look up to her. I think the whole cosplay community looks up to her, and she does crazy stuff. And her Wonder Woman is like another level. Like
her Joker.
Her Joker is insane. Her Jack Sparrow.
Like, what the fuck?
The Jack Sparrow one is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
I think my favorite is that you could probably pull it off is Natalie Portman, like Padme.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars. Like I remember seeing a picture. I think that was the first picture I ever saw. I'm sure I saw others. But the first time where I took note and I saw a picture of her, I saw that one, and I remember being like, "Oh my god, that's Natalie Portman." And I think I went to her page, and then she was like a man. I forget what character she was, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's Ryan Reynolds." And then she was like somebody else, and then I'm looking at her face, and I'm like, "This has to be like face swap. How is she doing this?" And it turns out it's just she's like insanely good at makeup.
She's good.
It's literally just makeup. And
it's so like, funny because sometimes I starting like trying to do some makeup and stuff, and like sometimes you were like, "Can you put a tutorial?" And then I put a tutorial the other day, and it's like, that's a lot of makeup, and I'm like, "How do you think you transform?"
Yeah,
it's like you gotta like start with a blank, And I have such strong features. I think Allison has a little more, like a smaller nose and more space, more
to work with.
Like I have my thick eyebrows, big nose, big mouth. It's just very difficult. No, it is. It's hard to hide these eyebrows. I tried before, and I just like I can't.
That's the only way.
Wow. Y'all should do a collaboration where you take your suit to Orlando, or she comes to you, and then she does your makeup for you.
I would love to work with her. I mean, I always tell her, I was like, I want to do, when I get my Donna Troy suit, we have to do your Wonder Woman, I'll be Donna Troy, and we have to take pictures together. And, it's just, I don't know when it's going to, I mean, my suit is going to be probably by this year, but I can't wait to do stuff with her. She's super fun.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
We had Mark Knight Rises on.
Oh, he's great.
Second episode. And like he talked about his experiences with Allison and how like he looks up to her and the stuff that she does.
I think everybody does.
Yeah. He also had some fun stories about it. I'm not going to repeat because I would like to have her on the show. But yeah, he was he reached out to her and wants to try to get her on, and I'm like, all right, that'd be great. And I also like watch her live sometimes. Like I jump on your lives and I jumped on her lives a couple of times. I'm like, both of you are just so sweet. Like you're both very nice people. And one thing that Mark Knight Rises explained is that similar to you, she understands that she has this following. So she'll stand there for God knows how long and take pictures with everyone if possible. And then I saw that when I met you in New York City Comic Con, where like I talked to you for like 30 seconds, and I was like, no, go take your pictures. Like, all right, I'm so sorry. Like apologizing to me. Like, I'm just trying to say hello for once. And you
I mean,
take
it's
pictures of
just
people.
some people get so pumped and like they're so nice, and I love meeting people like when they're passionate about cosplay. I'm like, the least I could do is like dedicate time to get to know them, to talk to them, and it's really heartwarming for me that somebody was. I don't know, it's weird.
No, it's like you said. I think I didn't really think about it, but the thing with the kids, the connection that you can have with children, and the way that kids can like sparkle and like light up when they see you. But I think like everybody has a little bit of kid inside of them, and so it is pretty fascinating when you are out in public and you see someone who is able to kind of remind them of something that you love as a child. So you reminding them of whatever character you might be cosplaying as. It kind of like it almost like awakens like this connection that you had to people that you didn't know existed. And it's like
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's like it's like a connection that it was there, like you had the ability to make it, but it just needed like a little eye makeup here and there, and then all of a sudden like you connect to somebody because you represent something for them that might mean something. It might mean something very similar to you, or it might mean something completely different. But what's cool is that you both have like that connection to a character, and it's how you're able to like share with somebody, you know, like you're kind of sharing yourself in a weird way. You're kind of sharing yourself. You're sharing like your ability to give them a representation of something that they enjoy. So
yeah, it's really, it's a blessing. I never thought in my life that I would be cosplaying or dressing up. I was like, sometimes my husband's like, because I get like I get a lot of people that are like, oh my gosh, at a restaurant or something, like, you look like the actress. And then I'm like, really? And my husband's like, you're not going to tell her you cosplay? I'm like, shut up. It's embarrassing. I was like, I don't want anybody following me. Like, I was like, you know, with my personal life, I'm so opposite of like when I'm in Comic Cons. I think I separate, you know, the creative part from my personal life, and like that's why sometimes I'm like, no, don't say anything.
You gotta have a secret identity. I mean,
I feel like that's what it is. Like, you know, it's just I always try not to look so. There's nothing I can do with my facial features, but like I try not to you know, imitate or any, because that's scary to me, that imitation thing. As I cosplay Wonder Gal, but like that's it. Outside of that, I don't do any other cosplays of her.
Do you ever wear like just a Wonder Woman t-shirt out in public and get stopped and say, hey?
I actually avoid it. I know it sounds weird. It sounds weird. But I avoid it. I don't wear it. I don't wear it to go out.
Well, it's
you'd never get to live your life if you did.
Yeah.
No, and I just find it, because I'm not, you know, and it's like,
well, it also
I don't know,
take away the specialness of the cosplay as well.
Yeah. When I cosplay, I transform completely. I give and I transform into the character, and it's like a 1, 2, 3 breathe. I call it theater because you're in constant character. So like if a kid asks you, like, you know, and why, you know, they're so funny. They come up with the weirdest questions, and I'm like, you have to know what to say at the moment.
They think, you know, what they see on TV really happens.
Yeah. I was talking about this yesterday, and basically like some kid is like, why doesn't your lasso work? Like, he's so rude.
Oh man. Well, you better have an answer for him.
I was like, well,
it hurts.
I'm from like, this universe is different. You know, it's like, you know, like I come here sometimes to see kids from Earth, and it doesn't work here. But if you want, I can try it. I can try my bracelets and see. And then I went like this with my angry eyebrows, and I went like, and he was, and I was like, I guess it doesn't work here.
One that you can probably use. A good one you can use now is whenever they ask you, why doesn't your lasso work? You say, you know what? I grabbed the Joss Whedon lasso by mistake, and I didn't bring the Zack Snyder one. So next time I'll bring the Zack Snyder lasso.
Oh my gosh.
Which is a
are
perfect
you
segue.
looking forward to the Zack Snyder Justice League release?
Oh, of course. Oh my gosh. I fought for the Snyder Cut so much. And like in New York Comic Con, it was so funny. I was I held the sign. I was like, release the Snyder Cut. And some
how's
people were like, that doesn't exist, honey. Like, get
so
over it, and they make you feel like you're just weird, and sometimes they just bring you down so much. And even people that are close to me,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, I believe in it and I know it exists. It has to, like, I mean, why would he lie about it? And it's just things, and then it happened.
Yeah.
It happened. So I'm
how-
super excited about it, of course.
How did it feel to like be one of the main advocates of the Snyder Cut? Because I was like, I know through Vero, you and Zach connected somehow, and for the last God knows how much time, you've been one of like the biggest parts that I know of the Snyder movement, the Snyder Cut movement. How does it feel to like?
Well, that's
know
a huge honor for you to say that. Thank you so much.
Well, there's so much more behind it, but like I know you and with your following and constantly pushing for it and Vero and all this stuff, and then you connected with Zach somehow, and then you guys worked on something together. And today is the 6th. We're 12 days away from finally watching it.
Yeah.
Like, how does that feel for you right now?
It feels surreal. I don't know. When I got Vero is an amazing platform for creators. I really wish more people would join. Now they have to upgrade where you can even do, meetings like voice calls and everything.
Oh, sweet.
And yeah, and the quality for pictures, you spend money on a composition, or like, to get like the photography, or you create this whole thing, and then Instagram is like, oh, you gotta post it this long. So Vero, you can just post it like this long or this long, whatever you want. It doesn't have cropping preferences, and also
it can be crappy.
And the quality is just like, it stays high. So that's where Zach posts all that stuff. So I used to follow Zach there on Vero. I think everybody went to Vero because of Zach at the beginning. And
I went because of you.
Thank you.
Creeper.
No, see, I'm a huge supporter, so always.
Thank you. No, and I got offered this opportunity with Clay Enos to take a photograph defeating stormtroopers, because Zach had done a photo shoot. The stormtroopers stole the Batmobile.
Yes. Oh my god.
And that was a super cool, he's like a huge Star Wars nerd. Zach loves Star Wars, and his dream one day, I think, it's to do a Star Wars movie, actually. And I know, imagine like a I don't know.
You know what I would love, a Star Wars movie?
Darth Vader's Apprentice or something.
If Zach ever watches this, Zach, this is what I want. I want a movie called Hoth, and it's all about the rebels discovering and building their fortress on Hoth. There's so many stories that could go with that.
True.
Okay.
Anyway, that's all I had.
All right.
That's all I had.
That's very specific.
Yeah. It is.
I love it. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, by the way. And when Clay was like, "Oh, I want you to shoot stormtroopers," I was like, "Yes, this is amazing." My husband was actually one of the stormtroopers, and some other friends were like part of it. We didn't rent. It was like they bought the costumes because we tried to get the 501st, but it was such a headache to get them because of Disney and their connection, and it's just we're Warner Brothers, and I was like, okay, we're not working with Warner Brothers. This is for just a fun project. But it was such a huge blessing. I think that's one of my epic moments in cosplay that I could ever be like, this is it, and that's the one that I'm so grateful forever. Like, there's nothing like it. And after that, Zach started following me there. He was like, he's been super supportive of my cosplay. Like,
that's so cool.
I know he's just really supportive person. And then we like talked and stuff, and I'm like, I'm here for him for whatever. Like, he's awesome.
He's Zack fucking Snyder.
He's awesome. Like he casted Gal, he casted everybody, gave opportunities to everybody, and the fact that he was like, "Oh, that's awesome," this and that, and he takes his time. Like I did like a Zoom call on Vero, and he just joined, and we were able to talk and hang out for a little bit and talk about cosplay. Like talk about someone that's so busy and then takes his time to talk to the fans and the cosplayers and explain how things work and this and that, and that's mind blowing.
So cool
to me.
I think
it's weird.
something that like the naysayers and the haters don't really understand is that this project, like his version of Justice League, was literally like resurrected by fans and demanded by fans, and there was no studio support, there was no big name support to start it out. It was 100% a fan-based movement, and it got so loud that the big stars got involved. He got involved, and then the studios had no choice. But at the end of the day, they need to make money, and they want to make money. And they saw how this was a missed opportunity of just leaving money on the table. Like, if people get loud enough and demand something enough and show them that they'll like the amount of money raised for charity that they were able to do.
Over $500,000 for
it's insane. Like it's insane, and it just shows that these aren't just like loud nerds. These are people who have passion and who will make positive change with that passion. And you can't ignore that, and I think it's wonderful to see that you were able to kind of help with it the way you were. And then also, I think I was blown away when I saw Patty Jenkins and then Gal. I think they retweeted, maybe on Twitter, is when they retweeted some photos of yours. And I was like, oh my God, she must be so freaking thrilled. That's like so crazy.
That was so cool. That was, I mean, I always thought like Zack Snyder, it's like, there was always for me like Zack Snyder would be the most amazing person to meet. He created the Wonder Woman that I love, and then there's Gal Gadot, which is like the next tier of like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. And then I got to meet them literally in the same week. Wow. And I was like, out of all the years I've been cosplaying, literally everything happened the same week.
Crazy.
During quarantine.
It's like so weird how God works. It's like when he says, I'm gonna bless you, it all happens like the same week. Basically, it was
how was that? Because I remember I remember watching your post when Gal just popped up on, I think you were on another podcast or something, and oh my God, like when I saw your expression, how happy you were like yeah. And just to see how genuinely happy you were, and for her to know who you were.
Oh my gosh, that's so scary to me because she told me twice. I met her twice that week at the premiere event. I got to ask her a question in which they cut down a lot because she was like, I look at you and I think it's me. And I think that was the funniest thing that God could ever said to me. And it's the people that were there heard it. And it's always staying in my heart. I never have mentioned this, in a post or anything, because it's something so special. I was like, that is hilarious. We were both wearing white, the same nails, lipstick. I was like, what's going on? I did not plan this. They knew what I was going to wear because I sent a picture of my suit, of the white Wonder Woman 84 thing. And then she was wearing that. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so hilarious. Cool. Yeah, it was just, she was so nice. And she was like, I follow you. Twice she told me she follows my work. So I'm like, these celebrities have to have burner accounts.
Yeah, I think so.
Like I think she follows me.
Private accounts.
She has to follow me like, she wouldn't say I follow you. It's weird. Like maybe to know what's going on with the fans, and this and that. So after that, I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh. She's seen everything I posted. How weird.
I think it was either Patty or Gal tagged Linda Carter. Like someone, maybe it was Patty tagged Gal. I can't remember, but somebody posted your picture or retweeted it and then said, hey, look at this.
Yeah, it was Linda Carter.
That's what it
talking
was.
to Gal. Like
oh my
Gal.
God.
I was like, what?
That is insane.
I get chills because it's weird. It's surreal.
So Wonder Woman saw you as Wonder Woman and told Wonder Woman about how much this Wonder Woman looks like Wonder Woman.
Yeah. It's like
Basically.
it's a Spider-Man meme when everyone's pointing at each other.
It's like all
like,
the multiverse. The multiverse like saw themselves at the same time.
Yeah.
That was so cool. I mean, I feel honored, to be honest. I have so much love for Wonder Woman and so much respect for her, for Linda, for Patty, for Zach, for everybody. And it's just been a life changer superhero. Like, she's been the savior, like, of the DCU, kind of, after everything that happened. And, you know, she's just been amazing.
No,
Yeah.
you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Once the Wonder Woman movie came out, everyone was like, "Holy crap!" Like Wonder Woman is fucking amazing, and you know, everything.
She
went
never
from
had
there.
a movie before. You never seen this women Amazons,
Yeah,
you know, doing all the stuff, and like, it's so empowering. It's so different. It was so shocking.
I love too how she was when she was originally cast. So many people were talking so much smack about how
They
she
loved
was
it. They love to talk crap.
She was the wrong
There's always
choice.
those people.
Yeah, she wasn't charismatic enough. She was the wrong choice. She didn't have the experience, and literally, it couldn't be like she's so freaking charming, and she's so sweet and nice and like motherly, and also like badass at the same time. It's just like she's such an embodiment of like that. She's such a star that it's like impossible to. It's just, you know, it's undeniable, and it's so cool to see, like how you said she had. I feel like at one point she was definitely like the anchor of the DCU.
Yeah,
and
I think so. I think she's amazing. It's just like, I mean, if you think about it, she was in Fast Too Furious, and she looked way different than she looked as Wonder Woman. You know, her whole appearance was different, and you know, if you see the comic book covers of Wonder Woman, if you're like, what? It doesn't look the same, you know? But I'm so glad that happened, to get people to prove wrong, because so many other people had opportunities, like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I mean, he is Aquaman. Like, you would have never, Aquaman was a joke to me before.
Well, when you think about like the old Aquaman,
he was like
it's like this puny little thing like on fish.
Well,
and now you have
was a joke,
and now it's like, oh, Aquaman, sorry, King. You know, it's like,
I wanted to go to I was thinking about going to one of those photo ops, and like, instead of like, you know how everyone jumps on his back, I wanted him to jump on mine.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that, because like, I think I'm taller. And I was like, all right, if Aquaman jumps on my back, I'm like, oh, look at me, I'm the shark. And I was thinking that, I'm like, maybe in the future, I'll be capable of doing that, because he's such a fun guy.
He seems like such a fun, chill, like free-spirited guy.
Yeah.
You know, they all really seem that way. Henry Cavill doesn't seem that way. He seems more like he's such a Clark Kent, I swear.
He's an Englishman.
The funny thing about him was when Superman was released, right? He was in New York City, right? He's the fucking Superman. And he was in New York City in Times Square, took a picture of him looking at like Times Square like billboards, and no one knew who he was.
No one cared.
He was wearing a Superman
but that's also
shirt.
New York.
Yeah, it's on New York.
New York, nobody cares.
No one gives a fuck about you in New York. Everyone walks by you. It's like, hey, you're walking too slow. What the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, Liz, if you walk by, people would stop and be like, "Are you Gal?"
They'd probably be like, "Oh, look, it's Gal," and they just keep walking.
They probably wouldn't care.
Or walk in front of you, take a quick selfie as you're walking.
It's so funny, because in Miami, I was like, I went to some places I go, and they're like, no. And I was like, yeah, what can I help you? It's like, oh my gosh, I thought that you were, but are you? I didn't get so confused. It was so cute. I'm like, no, why would I be in a McDonald's on A Street? That's like, yeah.
You never know. You never know, man.
You know, and especially like if you start speaking and like, you know, with your accent, I'm sure it throws them Russian. Like, oh my god, yeah, it sounds like it's her.
I know people think like, oh, your accent is like, is it really your accent? I'm like, why would I? You know, it's very hard to fake an accent, I think. It's like the Russian, Spanish. You know, this is a weird mix.
You speak Russian?
Да, я говорю по-русски.
I have no idea, but I'm gonna say that's. I'm gonna think that's yes. Yes, I speak Russian. That is awesome. All right, cool. All right, I gotta learn something. All I know is Spanish and English.
That's good.
Yeah, good enough, right? But I still want to learn something else. I honestly I get confused with Middle Eastern all the time. So part of me wants to learn Arabic just to fuck with people. Like, why not? But no. So moving forward, Tom, you ready to start hitting some pictures?
Let's do it, man.
All right, so we're gonna go look at some pictures that I sent Tom that I went through your Instagram, and they're not going to be embarrassing because I went through you first. Let's go with the first one. Hit it up.
Yay!
So of course, this is the picture that I think like blew up the internet. How did it feel to wake up in the morning and like see articles of you? Of this picture, how much you look like Gal, and people confused you as Gal.
This was my friend Jerry Castell, who is an incredible photographer, and I was like, "Hey Jerry, I got this suit finally here, the one that I had ordered for the December, my first cosplay ever. And do you think we can just go somewhere and take some pictures really quick?" It wasn't even like such a big deal, and he's like, "Yeah, let's go to the beach and then we can take some pictures." So that's what we did. We went to like this private little beach here in Miami, and we took it, and I posted right away. Of course, doesn't have a lot of editing. It's just at the beach, some grain and color definition. And then the next day I was like, oh my God, because I didn't really know about Reddit before.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's where it went nuts. And my skirt, look at my skirt. It's all messed up. Like, I don't know. That went way too viral. I was like, my lasso's so messed up. My skirt is messed up. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, it's just like, this is not Gal. What? And articles and articles and articles. It was like 50 something articles that I got to find that people would like forward me or more.
Yeah.
It was chaotic. I was like, wow, that's super crazy.
And then your following went up and all this stuff. And I remember I was one of the people, I read one of the articles and I followed you and like immediately messaged you to talk to you. And I think that's like the day we became friends. And,
wow.
And
because of this picture. That's crazy.
Because of this picture. Isn't that nuts? Like a picture. But like, look at you.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Funny.
Yeah, it's the angle. I mean, I think I always look kind of like down, and my mouth, I leave it open a little bit, and the eyebrows. I think it's the eyebrows. It's the eyebrows for sure.
You look like you had that sword where to kick some ass.
You definitely have that Gal. Like you know how to hit that angle so perfectly.
In school and college, they were like, you have the resting bitch face. I was like, I'm sorry, just my eyebrows.
That's a Spanish in you.
It's all and the years in Russia too.
Dude, my daughter came out with those eyebrows too.
That's cool.
She gives them to me. I'm like,
Mom, give me my bottle.
You're 8 months old. What are you doing?
I showed this picture to 3 people today, and they were like, "Yeah, it's Gal Gadot. It's Wonder Woman. What do you want?" I'm like, "No, look." And they're like, "Yeah, it's Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot." I'm like, "No, it's not." And they're like, "It's not?" And they're like, "Oh my God, you're right. This person's younger." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that's not Gal Gadot."
Wow, that's insane. I mean, I sometimes when was it that I did my makeup one time and I did something and I told my husband, I was like, this is the first time I ever freaked myself out of how close I look. It was when I did the Flashpoint Wonder Woman.
Nice.
The makeup I did for that, I was like, I actually scared myself when I saw myself in the mirror.
That's awesome.
This is weird.
So this one, I remember Woman to Woman had a trailer, and like here you are, like probably the same day the trailer released. You released this, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I work with my aunt on that dress. I have so many screenshots of it, like every research that I could find of it. And my friend Adi Rodriguez actually, like, she knows how crazy I went trying to look for any little thing that I saw, and we were able to finish the dress. And then I was like, yeah, let's go. And that's in my university, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
You mentioned you mentioned wearing the same thing as Gal. I actually thought about cosplaying this exact dress. I'm glad I didn't now that I see
Beautiful.
this. Because
I would like to put up a side by side. Who wore it better?
well, the reason I feel like it's probably best I wouldn't is because my legs would not be shaven, or it wouldn't be a pretty sight. So I defer to you and say that okay, okay, yeah, it's fine. You can have this one. It's a good one.
Oh my gosh. It was like, that's my
This
new
is awesome.
suit.
Oh, cool.
Looks amazing. So this is new, and I think you said your husband took the picture.
Oh yeah, we like most of the time is my friend Jerry or my husband that take my pictures. Like I'm really a big believer into sticking to close family and friends. I don't venture out a lot. I just like the simpleness of let's just hang out and take pictures. My friends Erica takes pictures of me, 80 takes pictures of me. I never really gone full blown different photographer yet. I
Nice.
want to try it. It would be nice, but most of the pictures I take is my husband. Sometimes I forget to credit him, and he's like, "Nice selfie," and I'm like, "Oh."
I'm married to you. Be relaxed.
I know. He's like, "Nice selfie."
Yeah. Is
So
that an edit or is it like
That's an edit. That I did it myself. Like, in
Yeah, we watched
Lightroom.
you do that live. On
Yeah.
oh, you did it.
Okay.
Oh, you were
yeah,
there.
yeah. Gramps and I were like I was like bugging. I was like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And like Gramps jumped in. I was like, "What's up, Gramps?" And we were both watching you doing the edit, and you were like, "Oh, this is too bright. I got to change it." And,
I don't know. I don't even know what it looked like if it was good quality, but I just discovered how to do that. And I was like,
it looks just
Super
natural
cool.
enough.
No, you did a good job. I mean,
thank you. That was in C2E2, and that's my Jeff X suit, the first one I ever had. And the cape I did with my aunt again. And yeah, the tiaras from Terrible Props. He's amazing cosplayer.
I got this this picture, Jason LeBoy.
Yes, I love Jason LeBoy.
Mark Knight Rises spoke about him, and then I followed Jason LeBoy, and I actually contacted him, and hopefully we get him on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, he needs to be. He's just so talented, and not just talented, but he's just really nice person.
Nice.
He's one of those people, like, because I'm super thankful to him. He talked to Clay Enos for me, and he's just a great human. Like, I love Jason.
Nice, that's good to know.
And he took this picture and many other ones that
awesome.
Yeah. That's a selfie.
So, all right. So listen. All right. So I had to throw this in here, and I didn't discuss this with you. What an amazing Catwoman! What the hell?
Thank you.
What are you like trying to like just take over all these cosplays? Like, it was amazing. So explain this. Like, where'd you get certain parts from, or
it shows her range.
Yeah.
Thank you. I always like
anything.
Catwoman is pretty cool. I just recently watched the movie Hush, and I was like, oh, it's so cool. Like, it reminded me of, when Batman almost married her in the comics, and it's such a cat-bat relationship. It's bat-cat. I'm sorry, it's backwards, my English. But I was like, I want to do Catwoman because she means so well. She loves Bruce so much, yet she has this like villain thing, and I liked her, and I wanted to give it a try, and my friend sent me the cowl, and I just had a suit, like a black suit, and I started doing the makeup. I got the eye contacts from TTDI, and I just went for like a darker makeup look, like very, I don't know, just very intense eye color.
It looks great. Are you planning on doing Catwoman on a future con?
Oh yes, I definitely want to.
Nice.
I want to do the Arkham Knight game look, and I think it's one of my favorite looks because it has more detail to the suit, and yeah, hopefully I get to do it. I mean, there's way other cosplays I want to do before, but definitely Catwoman will be coming to a convention for sure.
Nice. Can't wait.
Speaking about Bruce.
All right. Yeah. So Bruce. This is amazing. I saw this and I was like, whoa, she got a Batman suit. This is so freaking dope.
It's so sick. Jay Curtis Atelier, he is changing the world when it comes to cosplay and muscle suits. Obviously, those are not my abs. Those are not my arms. But you know, guys cosplayers are always wearing muscle suits, right? And I'm like, why not? Why not women? And Jay Curtis changed the game. He actually is designing right now women's muscle suits, and this is a Batman 1 design number 1 that he started, and now he's making version 2, and he's working on a suit for me that is version 3, but it's not Batman.
Okay.
It's Carrie Kelly.
Ooh. Oh.
And you're the perfect height for that.
I'm so happy. I love Carrie Kelly.
That is my favorite Robin.
Yeah, same.
Oh, that's so cool.
Obviously, because
DKR.
I'm Gramps. I'm Grandpa Batman. So yeah.
Yep.
I was looking into Zack Snyder's the Snyderverse and like what he had planned, and that's Ben Affleck's Robin in the future. That's who he had. And if you look up Zack Snyder in Google, Carrie Kelly, he confirmed it. And so I know, like, I think I got someone to ask, like, the emblem, is it Ben Affleck's? So I'm it's gonna be really cool.
Nice. Looking forward to
I'm gonna have it like in 2 weeks.
Oof.
Oh my God.
And Jay Curtis is the one working on the suit, and the outer skin is from Napier's ink that they make,
Is
crazy.
Is he the same one who did the suit for your husband?
Yes, Jay Curtis. Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna need him because since your husband and I are almost similar in height, I need a suit.
He's amazing at making
good.
suits.
I'll reach out. I gotta be Nightmare Batman.
That's a new one. I only posted that on Vera, and then I sent it to you. I'm like, I haven't posted on my Instagram, but I've been working lately with null photography. Yeah, so my husband takes the pictures, or I take my own pictures, and then he does these crazy edits. He's leaving me speechless. It was like, awesome. He's amazing.
You might have to release like your own calendar.
Seriously, like, does anybody use calendars anymore?
I do. I buy calendars.
Really?
I don't know about since COVID. When COVID's over, they'll probably do it.
Back to calendars.
Yeah, that's a cool one. It's my new suit.
You could always have prints to sign. And sell it.
I have Patreon, and I don't really announce it. But having a Patreon is really helpful because it helps me continue buying suits and doing stuff. And what I do is I post pictures like these ones in high resolution and sign digitally, so people can just print it at home because I'm not going to be shipping pictures. Like, just print it at home, whatever size you want. If you want it, if not, like, you have the high definition one. And it's a way to also, like, if I do a photo shoot and I take 20 pictures, I'll post like 5 there that I never post anywhere else. It's kind of like I'm doing my best to, and then people just go there to support just because they're super nice. Yeah, but I don't really announce it. And that's you. Look how tiny I look because I had no heels. My God, look at Vasquez. He looks so small too.
Yeah, Vasquez. It's funny because like Vasquez and I have been friends
like
for a really long time.
He?
Vasquez? No, he's like
no, he's like 5'10".
Yeah,
you're gonna hurt his feelings.
It was funny because like this day I think was a Saturday.
I don't know.
And like Thursday and Friday I was in touch with you and like, oh, I'm over here, I'm over there, and I'm like, where the hell is this place? But I was too busy. I'm such a nerd that on Thursday and Friday of New York City Comic-Con, all I focus on is getting signatures and buying prints and sending stuff to CZC and all this stuff. And then Saturday, I was like, oh, you know what? Let me find out where the hell Liz is. And I remember Vasquez texting me. He's like, dude, we're on the 3rd floor. And I'm like, this stupid map is ridiculous. And I was like, whatever.
It's chaotic. It's such a big place, too.
Yeah. And then I finally get upstairs, and I'm like, all right, I got to find the Vero booth. And I find the Vero booth, and I'm like, oh, my God, there's Liz. She has no idea who the fuck I am. And then I walked over to you. I was like, hey, nice to finally meet you. And I was like, all right, she has no idea who I am. I'm Everything Batman. And then you were like, oh, my God, nice to finally meet you. You gave me this huge hug. And then Vasquez is like, you finally made it up here? You asshole.
What a jerk.
No, he's a great guy. Vasquez and I have been friends for a while. He does comic book appearances.
He is
in
amazing.
Jersey.
He actually, like, his wife, like, they did the cape for my husband's Batman suit, and
Nice.
he has so many cosplays, and he does so much for the kids in the community. And I remember for the Christmas event that I did, he sent me a box of actual toys, and I used some of it, but then most of it I was using in hospital visits during the whole year, pretty much, like giving out little Barbies and stuff. He's in town, not Barbies. I call them Barbies, but like dolls that he sent me. So he's just very giving person.
Yeah, he's a really good
sweet.
dude.
Mhm.
And then I met your husband.
Yes, you did. He was Deadpool.
Yeah.
He didn't cosplay. He doesn't like to show his face. He's very private, and Deadpool and Batman are like perfect cosplays because your face is covered.
Dunk looks like he's taking his kids out to go to like the best Halloween costume.
We look so small.
Like, I'm going to take
guys.
my kids to Applebee's. Here we go.
Hey,
And I look like a stump.
Come
like
on, guys.
a
Let's go
stumpy
trick or treating.
You guys look awesome. Your suits look legit.
Horrible.
And it's
Legit.
Thank
over
you,
here.
thank you.
But that's my dope night suit.
There you go.
The BatForce shirt, my little utility belt, and my jeans and my Jordans. Yeah, that's me. That's me in Comic-Con.
I never noticed the utility belt until now.
Oh yeah, there it is.
I actually had I was standing in line for Todd McFarlane, and I think it was Grumps. Grumps is like, yo, you need anything? I was like, yo, can you buy me a couple of beers? So he goes and gets me a couple of beers, and there's 3 slots on my utility belt, and I put 3 beers in my utility belt as I'm standing in line. And
That's very convenient.
Yo,
Batman
listen,
would never do that, but that's awesome.
Batman would use.
I feel
every
like he
possibility
totally
utility
would.
belt. Yeah,
There would be no. Well, Ben Affleck's Batman would.
He would have a thermos.
he'll have whiskey
Maybe
flask.
wine.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that was a great time meeting you there. That was really fun, and it was great to finally meet you at that point. And
that was super fun. New York Comic Con was pretty wild.
Hopefully, things get back to normal, and we can see each other there again, and
I know.
have dinner, breakfast, whatever the hell. Bring your husband. Everyone have a good time.
Yes.
I miss that stuff so bad.
I have to compliment your husband. He did a really cool Batman cosplay too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I want to do more stuff, together, and Batman and Wonder Woman. I told him the other day, I was like, let's dress up and like cross the street.
Well, I mean, and
see what people say.
And this is just an idea because he's got the Batman suit, you've got the Catwoman. Now you need to have little Helena suit for your baby.
Yes, that'd
Helena.
be perfect.
She's so cute. Like
that would be so cool.
That would be perfect Halloween like family portrait.
I need to find. She would look good on purple.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So what does your family think about all this?
My mom at the beginning, she was like, "Are you a little too old for this?" Like parents. Like my mom doesn't understand what is it, and then she's like, "Oh my gosh, Liz, you need to stop copying her. You're so beautiful on your own, and like, what do you do?" And the parents, they're just parents, and my mom is like, "You can paint, you can sing." I was like, that's not what I like.
Yeah.
My mom is always like, just do something else.
Is that,
and
is your
then
mom
you
Cuban?
start up with your Jennifer Lopez cosplay and singing and dancing like her and doing all that.
No, she was just saying like, because I always dreamt of having, like my own oils and into facials and like things like natural products. So she was like, when are you going to do that? Focus on that. I'm like, no, I'm having so much fun. She doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just the way my mom, Latina, like she was raised like very academics and this and that, and everything in life is a sacrifice. You have a child. You gotta just. And I'm like, no,
she's
super
Cuban?
immature. Yeah,
you have to make time for yourself.
Okay, makes sense because like my mom's Dominican, and it's like I tell my mom.
What does she think of you?
I tell my mom about the podcast and me collecting and all this stuff, and she's like, Batman's not real, right? And I was like, no, Mom, he's not. He's like, so why do you follow him? And in my mind, I'm like, whatever. I say a lot of reckless things to my mom that I shouldn't repeat. I'm not going to repeat it on the podcast. But it's like,
I know where you're going now.
Yeah, there's other books, whatever. So I'm like, Mom, like, sometimes you read something and it motivates you, right? And sometimes, like with Batman, you have a guy who lost his parents, who was a billionaire, and he could have been like, fuck this, I'm having fun for the rest of my life. I'm gonna be a playboy, do all this crap, and da-da-da-da. No, he said, I don't want anyone else to go through the pain that I went through, and became Batman. And in a way, like in my life, I try to help people and do things similar. And my mom's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, you don't have to, Mom. Like,
I know,
like,
I know. It's the same. She
So
doesn't get it. She doesn't understand.
And they're also from different, when it comes to like Latin cultures, they're very like, you have to get your education. You have to
That's
work
the thing.
hard.
Everything
you
is like a sacrifice. And I'm like, why?
It's gonna suck, but you got to do it. This is the way. This is the way it works. This is what we know.
This
and
is
it's
the way.
like,
This is the way.
This is the way. I'm like, they never watched Star Wars yet. This is the way. And it's like, all right, Mom, I get it. But like now, my mom's starting to understand it a little more. Like she watches this. Thank God.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. Hi, Mom. Just talking about you. I love you.
I know. Like I got to work with Reebok because the Wonder Woman 84, it was really cool. And they were like, who's like your inspiration? And I'm like, my mom, because obviously not just for cosplay, like she's been amazing.
Yeah.
But joking around, I was like, they said, oh, it was such a beautiful story. We want to send your mom free pair of shoes.
That's awesome.
And I told my mom, so you want the shoes?
Yeah. Do you want them?
Do you believe now?
Yeah.
She was like,
trash, Mom.
They were really, really nice. And my mom is like, oh, okay. Like she was like, okay. I'm like, of course you're gonna be okay. Like I'm not doing this to get stuff, but then I got that, and it's like she's so happy about it.
And that's
really
the amazing
a pair
part
of
of
shoes.
this. The amazing part of this is like sometimes you get some free stuff and it helps. And like relating to you, like my mom, I gave her something and she was like, where'd you get this? I mean, don't ask, Mom. Batman gave it to you. And she was like, it said Batman. And I'm like, and I'm just like, it's working, Mom. Like, understand and believe in me. And don't have your opinion. Believe in your son. And I finally visited my parents last week, and she's like, so I'm watching this thing you're doing on YouTube, and in Spanish, of course. And she's like, it seems like everyone's having a good time. I kind of like it. And I was like, all right, Mom, thank you. I'm like,
that's so sweet.
Yeah, it took a while. She never supported me for basketball, but she supported me for this. But, like whatever, that was a different time. And that was great. So we're getting close to the end. And I promised Cole Trez, one of the followers of Bat Force Radio, Gramps or Grumps.
What's up, Cole?
What's up, Cole? Huge fan of yours. He was one of the gentlemen that I came with to meet you that day. And when he met you, he was the happiest human being. He was like, oh my gosh, she's so sweet. How is she so sweet? And all these great things. Like, oh my gosh, she's so nice in person. He was, huge.
It's the eyebrows. People think I'm mean.
No.
See all the Wonder Woman poses are very mean.
So
they're like,
so his question was, since you've been cosplaying, what is the most impactful interaction or connection you have made?
Wow. There's so many different.
Besides this podcast, of course.
Besides the podcast, of course, because we're the shit. No.
Well, I made really good friends. I think thanks to cosplay, I made 80, Nina, Erica, Michelle. Obviously you're a friend, but these are people that are local that I've gotten to hang out for almost 3 years, and we became so close. And I consider 80 to be one of my best friends, and
nice.
It's thanks to cosplay I was able to meet them. So I think meeting people that share the same passion and hanging out together and just building friendships is one of the most rewarding things in cosplay for me. And also just helping others anytime that I have a chance to do a little something for someone. It's just touching. as well.
Isn't it amazing that as much crap social media gets, there's this side of it.
Oh yeah.
And like myself, like I met these guys through social media.
Yeah.
And I build a lot of friendships myself. And most of the people I talk to daily is people who
on
I
social
met.
media.
Yeah, isn't it nuts? And it's like, and there's this whole stigma behind social media, like, oh, it's so bad. You know what? A couple of bad comments, I'll just give them to Tom. Tom takes care of those.
Honestly, it's not as bad as it seems.
Exactly.
Everybody's super nice, and you meet people with the same interests, and you basically can know a lot about a person from their profile, and that's it. And you're like, oh, I like this person.
Yeah.
And then you interact on things that you share,
Yeah. And some people, like, you talk to them a couple of times and you realize what kind of people they are. Like, that's how you and I became friends. And with Cole, he's actually someone Jesus and I met through social media. And he became a close friend. It's someone I talk to about 3 or 4 times a day. A week, I mean, not a day. Well,
that's
that'd be
pretty
too
awesome.
Much. And that's that's the positives of social media. And that's a perfect answer. Cole, I hope you're happy with that one.
Yay, Cole. Thank you.
Besides that, before we end, I always ask this one thing. Do you have any motivational or messages or anything to say to anyone who wants to cosplay going forward? Any new cosplayers, any current cosplayers? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I think a lot of people perceive cosplay like sometimes because you see Allison or other cosplayers that are like, it's like a whole production. You're like, I don't know if I can cosplay, if I can afford it. But cosplaying, it's not just, being full suit like that. Like you can have a tiara and a cape and go to a con, have a beer, meet people, and have fun. Like, don't be afraid to just dress up as who you want to be with what you can. Go to Party City, buy whatever. It doesn't matter. There's so much stuff you could do to be creative. So I just feel like if you ever go to a con, please wear something. A little something, an element of what you love, like your utility belt. It's like a little something that you can connect, and you're gonna have a blast because you're gonna feel like you're part of it. You're gonna regret not wearing something sometimes. You're like, man, I wish I had the tiara or had something to have fun. So just cosplays for everybody, for any age, anyone. You can do whatever you want. And that's it. It's super nice community. Everybody's really nice, and people are willing to answer any questions, and don't be afraid to reach out, or to just, when you see somebody at a con, like, ask questions, because cosplayers love that. When somebody approaches you and it's like, oh my gosh, I love this, do you have any advice on how to do this? And it's really nice. So
Nice.
I think that would be just go for it, just have fun.
That's perfect. Just have fun.
Yeah.
Right? Just have fun. All right, Tom, any last thoughts?
No, I'm just so excited, and I'm sure you are, that by the time this comes out, we're going to be less than a week away from the Snyder Cut.
Oh my gosh, I can't. It's going to be 4 hours. I think it's going to take me like 7, because it's at home. I can pause it and be like, oh my God, what was that? And go back.
I might take a day off and just like
you're going to have to. Yeah, you'll have to.
Gramps, any sound bites about the Grumps and Gramps, and any final thoughts?
Well, I just want to thank Liz for coming on. I mean, we've been following you for quite some time, and we love your cosplay. We think you do a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. So keep it up. We look forward to more.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This was really fun. And yeah,
we can do it, if you're available sometime in the future too.
Yes, no, for sure. I'm available, and I love doing things like this, and talking, nerding out, and just having fun.
Nice.
Well, we may have to have a follow-up to the Snyder Cut discussion.
Oh yeah, to talk about like the film and everything.
I think that's a must. We might have to go live with that too. You and Reeves. That'd be freaking awesome. All right, Liz, thank you so much for coming on. You are what we expect from his cosplay community. Like, you're very helpful. You're so humble. You're so easy just to get along with.
Thank you.
Despite the eyebrows.
I'm trying to make you cry. No, just thank you. Thank you for being so nice. So just being yourself. You're not being these things. That's who you are. And,
thank you.
And it's greatly appreciated. And, you know, for me, for a person who's been a friend of yours for about 2 years, and, you know, we talk about certain things outside of all this, and we try to help each other out and all that stuff. Thank you for coming on. Anything else you wanted to say before I finish off?
No, I mean, thank you guys. Best of luck with the show. I had so much fun. I hope you get more cosplayers to join, and you know, that's it. I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know what else to say.
Thank you so much. To everyone else watching or listening right now, please make sure when you watch this video on YouTube, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and share. Why not share? If you have a good time listening and watching this, share with your friends, family. I'm pretty sure they appreciate it. We're also on SoundCloud as Everything Batman. We're still waiting on approvals on Spotify and iTunes. We'll get there eventually. Make sure Gramps is here. Make sure you watch the Grumps and Gramps show.
Thank you.
If you're part of the Fig Life, you have to watch it. If you watch back here, I'm part of the Fig Life. I buy figs. I'm also part of the Gramps and Grumps show. Give it a shot. Watch it. I'm pretty sure you enjoy it. Go follow Liz on Instagram, Vero, Twitter, and
TikTok.
Yes.
Do duets with me. It's fun.
Yeah, go do it up. On all platforms, she is Lis Wonder. Again, Liz, thank you so much for coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 4, we're out.
Woo, thank you.
Nice.